But for our second video, we're going to be having a bit of a background noise. We're going to be talking about the importance of well-crafted independence. Alright, I asked a few friends for a review on my work so far, and I've gotten, let me read one that actually meant something or counted as something to be considered. Most of the people I asked, I did not consider just how I needed to be wary of intellect. Because what I wanted to have for this channel was a sense of independence from biasness, a non-centralized idea, but still nevertheless centrist, which is to say, subjective yet objective, to understand something for yourself, an interpretation, the way you want to take it, yet objective to the logical fallacies of the world. Sociological applications on these topics is exactly the main purpose of what I want to speak about. The response was, I apparently move too much. Take note of that. I move too much and it's quite distracting, and I say a lot of things twice. Now, we're gonna be continuing with the discussion. It took me a minute and a half to start with the introduction. Forgive me. Alright, the importance of well-crafted independence. Well-crafted independence, in my terminologies, or as for this video, is something that allows an individual to face something on his own, but we're talking about a subject here. Not a well-crafted mindset for your own growth, but a subject made to withstand independence, or rather no dependence from your presence or your whatever it is that you want them to detach themselves from, that comes from you or comes from another being. First, the illusion of control or choice must be addressed. Swaying too much again, sorry. Right. The illusion of choice and control. First, we must address the fact that the current choices that are at the disposal of every person on this planet is an illusion. The moment non-compliance appears, there comes a crumbling of reality, understanding that everything comes from respecting norms, authority, power, rules, guidelines. Everything abides by the control of these things. However, the moment that it crumbles by outside influences such as, for example, the crumbling of a man's ability to listen due to the bruise on his ego. This results to a long-term difference in the relationships of the individuals, especially when it comes to the workplace, which can even happen in a short-term period. If a junior disrespects a senior in a way that is more than just defiance or simple defiance, something that you cannot take with a pinch of salt, this may result to being fired, or perhaps worse, depending on the level of defiance showed. There may be legal repercussions. Now let's start with the illusion of control. The illusion of control refers to the fact that a lot of people believe that they have power or control over something. If you give an individual the understanding that they do not have this, you will be able to let them, or you will be able to control them in a way of subtle intelligence. Subtle intelligence is referring to a form of knowledge which is superficial, created by your ability to let another person comprehend. So in a way, it's artificial intelligence, but it's superficial as it is created solely by you, and it's not fully composed by artificialities, which is something that you compose yourself. It is a knowledge, a form of knowledge that is finite, however, in its own way, infinite. And through what I have said, rather, for what I have said, it can be done through reckless abandonment. We are familiar with the term Irish goodbye. This is one of the best ways an individual can grasp that being alone is more often than not something you need to face. An Irish goodbye means to leave without saying anything, to leave without notice. If you do this in another form, it will force an individual to come into compliance with the reality that they are left with. In relationships, this may be one way to allow your partner to stop being clingy, to understand that you do not truly need each other for every second of the day. And I guess that's going to be our main subject for today, relationships. Through your partner's understanding, you are able to let them understand the circumstances of which your life revolves around that would lead to their need of independence. This can vary from things such as family matters, school matters, work, emergencies, but as far as the illusion of control comes, we must look for the thing that is most sequential, or something that is very frequent. So I believe work or school comes first in regards to these things. Now, I brought this topic up because I believe that the highlighting of things that we know of but do not wield is something that must be changed. So in terms of how occupied one is in terms of activities in their lives, you can exaggerate in a manner that cannot be questioned, for it can be subtle. For example, I cannot leave because the guard does not let us out by this time. Or as for work, I cannot leave because we are currently at a very busy phase, and by the current steps we're taking, I believe the company will take more complications by the next few months. So I have to abide by current timestamps or by the current time logs that we are given or expected to stay until. And so, by the creation of an illusion of a reality, you remove the illusion of choice for an individual to believe that they have power over something. This carefully, or not so carefully yet, at the very least, this not so carefully created reality dispels the illusion of control. And through this, an individual recovers a sense of living that forgets you. Your boyfriend may start believing that something else can truly capture their time as you're currently occupied. They may believe that it's something that truly encapsulates the feeling of joy as when you are with them. This allows you to speak to the individual with nothing but your intent to be entertained. I guess this topic is a lesser way of, or rather a shallower way of thinking. But I would like to clarify that every topic that I have spoken about is not limited to what it is about. It is infinite. My way of talking about it is neither finite or infinite. It is something that strives to be understood and taken apart completely for the application of the individuals that hear it. I want you to understand that I am neither encapsulating this piece of knowledge. I am simply putting apart distinctions and correlations, and through this I believe you can make your own way of using it. Which of course I have done that myself, but I am interested to hear about your ways of using it. Now, I believe I could have gone and spoken more about it, but this is the second episode. I am learning about how to do it better. I believe I have properly spoken about how to carefully, or rather, I don't believe he was careful. I do believe that I have properly spoken about the creation of independence, or the illusion of independence for an individual. And I believe that through it you can capture whatever you think an individual is, or whatever you think the reality that you can create is. It's simple. Do not believe the words that I say for what they are. Create a reality for your own. Make good with what you know, or what you want to know. It's a wonderful thing, our brains. It allows us to create, to ever be creative, to be ever creative. I guess for the next one, I think I already have the topic in mind. It's about... I'll talk to you about it in the next video. Goodbye.